Alright, so 4-3 quiz, we're off. So 1 is about protons, it's about neutrons, and it is about electrons. So there's 3 of the points, it's just listing what they're called, protons, neutrons, and electrons. Then the follow-up question is what the charge is there. So proton is positive. Positive 1 would be the best answer, but if you just said positive, I'll take that today. Neutrons have no charge, or you could say neutral. Electrons have a -1 charge. If you just say negative, I'm good enough with that. And that's our first 6-point question there. Something on those. 7 is mass and charge in whatever particular order you go with. We'll double back and talk about masses. Those didn't make the quiz this time, but next time I bet you'll need to know the masses on those. And then we're into the old questions. So 9 is AMUs, 10 is carbon-12. If you just said carbon, I'll take that for the last day, but next time carbon would be a half-point answer. 11 is 12 AMUs. If you forgot the AMUs, I'll let that go for a last day, but if you forget the AMUs tomorrow, I'd go half. 12 is Dalton. And then our 3 proposals that stand up are elements are made of atoms is 1. When elements form molecules of compounds, they do so in whole number ratios. That might be some half-point action there. If you don't see things like molecules, you don't see things like compounds. That would be like half-point kind of items. If you don't see whole number ratio, you're just out of luck. And then the last one, I use the word different 3 times. If you have atoms of different elements, they can unite in different ratios to form different compounds. Instead of different, you could say 2 or more a bunch of times, I guess, if you want to do that.
What is 7 and 8?
7 was mass and charge.
What was the charges for a neutron and electron?
Neutron was neutral or no charge. Electron is negative is enough to score today, but -1 is the best long-term answer. Question about scoring that thing. Okay, there's still not homework tonight that's doable. If you want to lay a foundation for future homework day, you can now go 1A to F. If you want to get 1A to F out of the way, you could. After tomorrow's 4-4 lesson, there will be homework that becomes turn-inable that ends up going from 1 up to K. So if you like to work in bits and pieces, chip away on the 1A to F, but if you'd rather just do one big chunk, just wait until it's time to chunk it up tomorrow. Reading is going to be 4-4. 4-4 is going to have 8 new points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8 are like very obvious in the margin kind of stuff. There's another couple that are like kind of blended into the reading, but if you actually read it, you should be fine. If you just try to read the margin, you're going to pick up 5. But if you actually read the text and the paragraphs and stuff, there's 8 in there. Some of it, if you've been through physics, we've talked about in detail a little bit about like where these items are, like protons, neutrons, electrons, where could you find them? That's some of what they're talking about in 4-4. But that's not exclusively what the section is about.
Could we do the balloon thing again?
Yeah, maybe we'll bust out some balloons.
Three point extra credit, first one to find a balloon.
You hate us.
Pain will just appear with the balloon.
There you go.
No, they are now.
So 4-4 was 8 points compared to today's. From 9 down, everything stays the same. And then 1 to 6 becomes a 12-point question. Go us. So it'll say, list these 3 particles, which were proton, neutron, electron. It'll ask you to give an abbreviation. So a handy abbreviation for proton. Anybody know?
Or positive.
Little p for proton.
P with a plus.
With a little plus in an exponent position. Neutron abbreviation.
N with a minus.
Little n. the zero exponent because it has no charge. Electron, E, little minus in the exponent position because that has a negative charge. So we're up to 6. New question, tell what mass they have. So mass on a proton, 1 AMU. Mass on a neutron,
0.
1 AMU.
1 AMU. Mass on a electron, we're going to say negligible. Negligible, what does that word mean? Like very little. There is some, but it's so little that it might as well be
Nothing.
nothing, but it isn't 0, it is something. So best answer for mass is negligible, meaning so close to 0 it might as well be, but it isn't quite 0, so we'll say negligible. And then again, we'll go back with charges. For protons, say +1. Neutron, say no charge or neutral. Electron, say -1. And someday, maybe a bonus feature, not making the quiz tomorrow. Which one of these 3 things are the one that cause anything electrical?
What?
Which one of these 3 things cause anything that's electrical to happen?
Electrons.
Electrons. So our lights went off today for the first time in many years at school because those electrons just stopped flowing. And then somebody fixed something and the electrons started flowing again and we had lights and internet and everything else we wanted to have. But anything that's electrical in any way, whether that's like powering a building or whether that's our static electricity balloons from physics last year, all of that stuff has to do with the electrons cause all of that action. So 4-4 again, 8 new points, 5 of them are obvious. The other ones you'd have to actually like read and just try to comprehend what's going on with 4-4. Everything from 9 down stayed the same, and that 1 to 6 question just popped up to become a 12-point question. You could work 1A to F, but you don't have to. We're not turning in any homework tomorrow, but the next day we would once we add on a little bit of news tomorrow in 4-4. Anybody question about any of that business?
What was the mass for the proton?
Mass for a proton is 1 AMU, and so is a neutron, 1 AMU. Electrons were negligible. Anything else to run you back?
Are we going to 7 and
7 and 8, no, that became like the title of the question. It'll say like,
Okay.
tell me the mass, tell me the charge. So since I'm saying that, you don't have to say it anymore. Anything else? Shut